everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast for today, Friday, May 16th, 2025. Stock market has been open for just about a half an hour right now, and not by big, huge jumps, but everything is up at least a little bit right now. The Dow has been slightly in negative territory, and I guess it just barely ticked back into negative territory just a couple of seconds ago, literally just before I changed screens. This was ever so slightly positive, and you can see at 1.14 down. It's basically dead flat. The Nasdaq was up a little bit higher. Nasdaq has mostly been up for this first 30 minutes of trading, but not by a lot. It's up a little bit right now. I think I get the feeling that everyone is kind of taking a breather this morning. The reason none of these indexes are up very far or down very far, I think, is simply a function of it's been a busy week. It's been a very robust week. Markets have moved strong to the upside over the past 3-4 weeks now. I mean, this is a really nice, sharp, big recovery. We're not all the way back up to the all-time highs, but we're back up to where we spent, most of the end of last year, and the very first part of this year was in this range right here. Going all the way till 2 months ago. This is where we were at, was in this range, and we're back into that range now. And a little bit of a breather, a little bit of flattening today, and maybe in the early part of next week would not be a horrible thing, because it takes us a little ways away from that overbought line. And then you could have maybe your next run, maybe your next big rally up for a few days to a week, to a couple of weeks. And that would be a good thing. So like I said, all three indexes up, but nothing is up sharp this morning. There are certainly some individual stocks that are doing really well. But just kind of a mellow day so far. Now that means absolutely nothing in terms of how the market is going to finish today. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Relative to what we have going on, there are just a couple of things that I need to talk about, and this will probably be a pretty short podcast this morning. And let's start out with Johnson & Johnson, because I sent out on Discord. We have that 150 short call. For those of you that are still in the Johnson & Johnson trade, we have that 150 short call. Johnson & Johnson having a nice move up today. I have already rolled from the 150 short call that expires today to the 152.50 that expires next week. So what that leaves us with now is a 150 long call for next week and a 152.50 short call. And I got, I think, around 35 cents, 36 cents per share credit. So some additional credit on the trade. Now a $2.50 spread on the two options that are open. And I'll tell you honestly, if Johnson & Johnson just absolutely takes off to the upside, and this 152.50 strike that we just rolled out to, if that goes into the money today or in the early part of next week, I'm not opposed to maybe bumping this up to the next strike price, as long as it can be done for 50 cents on the dollar or less. It's got to be 50 cents on the dollar or less than 50 cents on the dollar. So we'll watch that in the early part of next week. I mentioned yesterday in the podcast, at this point in time, I'm not looking to get profit on Johnson & Johnson. I'm looking to whittle down this loss as much as possible. In the big picture, in the big scheme, we are doing phenomenal on where we're at on our spread trades, but it is mostly, I don't mind admitting this, mostly on the backs of how well we're doing right now with Palantir and how well we're doing with NVIDIA right now. AMD's looking good. It's a good trade. It's up a little bit more today. We've had a great run this year, but a couple of real drags. The ARM trade and this J&J trade have been the ugly ones this year. But overall, we're really doing phenomenal, and I expect that trend to continue. Now, the only other thing I really need to mention today is those individuals that are in the Walmart trade. So this is both the Johnson & Johnson trade applies to both SOS members as well as those that are following along with the triple play stuff. The Walmart is for everybody, and I still don't have it in the spreadsheet. Walmart is, if it hasn't already done it, it is very, very close to oh yeah, it has crossed over now. So just yesterday we rolled the 105 short call on Walmart down to a 97.50, because I told you yesterday I thought Walmart would maybe be low for another day and then take off. It's a day ahead of taking back off to the upside, and so I rolled that short call out 1 week. Actually, I haven't done it yet. I'm sorry. I was looking at it. I'm going to roll that short call. I'll do it right when we wrap up this meeting. But basically what we're going to do is roll the 97.50 short call that expires today. It's now in the money. We're going to roll it out to next week, and probably I'm going to bump it right back up to the 100 strike. If I can do that for a credit, great. If there's a very, very small debit in doing that, that's not a big deal because it still improves our trade dramatically. And the nice thing about Walmart is that we're far enough out in time on our long calls that if we have to roll that short call a couple more times, no big deal. It'll be really, really easy to do. So if you're in the Walmart trade and you rolled that short call down from 105 down to 97.50, we're going to roll it out 1 week. We're going to get it out of the money. I'll look at the 98, the 99, the 100 strike and see where we can, hopefully still get a credit. And then we're going to be in great shape. We're going to be in really fantastic shape as we move forward with our spreads. Yesterday, I sent out a couple of collar trade adjustments, so we are now set on Snap. And here's the thing with Snap. I told you in the email last night, I would explain why what we basically did is, instead of just adding long puts, we added a put calendar spread. And the reason is, I see with Snap the likelihood that it doesn't drop back below $8 a share. We're protected at 8 with the long put, but adding that short put in a nearer term expiration, even if we cross over and go negative on, go into the technical crossovers on all three of our indicators, I think 8 will hold until the time that short option expires, and it just helps offset the cost of the long option. We did something very similar with our adjustment on BAC. The difference on BAC is we added the long puts and then a short put that is a couple strike prices lower. So on the Bank of America one, let's see, on the Snap, we went to the 8 strike price long put and the 8 strike price short put. On Bank of America, a little bit different. We went to the 43 strike short put and took in a little credit to offset the cost of the new long puts. And Bank of America, I see I see a pretty strong level of support right there at 43. So again, even if it comes down, I don't think it'll technically cross over. It needed a couple, 2-3 days of pullback just to get out of this overbought territory. So I think that's a good thing. And then I just don't see it going below 43 before those short puts expire. And with the long puts out in July on both of these adjustments, really super easy to adjust the short put and roll it out and down if we need to. So we're looking great on everything. Great return on the spread trade portfolio so far this year. Great return on our triple play portfolio this year. I am still watching this morning. Triple play members, keep an eye on Discord. I still might send some trades for today. If not, we're going to have a really busy week next week. The SMCI trade and the adjustment we did on that is in great shape. And then hopefully you made that Johnson & Johnson adjustment already. And then collar trades, with the exception of American and I think NVIDIA, we're up nicely on everything. And NVIDIA has now moved into positive territory. So we're looking good on NVIDIA now as well. Probably another adjustment coming up on NVIDIA because we're getting closer to being at the money with the short calls. And our long puts are relatively out of the money right now, and we've got earnings coming up. So we will make an adjustment to NVIDIA probably in the early part of next week. Palantir's looking great, although, again, close to making an adjustment on those short calls. And then we just made the adjustment on Snap. SoFi and Uber look good as well. I only think there's a couple that we're a little bit in the negative on, but overall doing great on our collar trades as well. So I'm ecstatic with where everything is at, where the 3 major indexes are back to a break even on the year. We're profitable on everything, and nicely so. One last note that I would ask of everyone who listens to this, on the website, on the Safe Option Strategies website, I am probably going to make a change so that when you want to look at this newest podcast, it's going to open YouTube for you, so that YouTube shows more views. Right now, if you view the video, even though it's in YouTube format, if you view it on the website, I don't believe it counts it as a view on YouTube. You actually have to be on YouTube's site. And then I would encourage every member of the program, not only view it on YouTube, but give it one of the little thumbs up. Look for the little thumbs up like button and click on the like button. I'm trying to generate more interest in this podcast. I've made this podcast public now because in the podcast, we're not going to be giving people who aren't subscribers the new trades. They're only going to see what we do in the way of adjustments and follow-ups to trades. And they may hear some of our ideas, but it's just going to generate more interest overall in what we're doing in the Safe Option Strategies program. So please take the time to view this on YouTube. And like I said, I'm going to try and make a change to where it automatically directs you to YouTube opening up when you try and view it on the website. I'll be working on that today. And then make sure you click the like button when you're viewing it on YouTube. And let's see if we can move ourselves up that list a little bit in terms of viewer interest. But thank you for those of you that are members. Thank you for being loyal members and tuning in and watching, whether you jump on with me live in the morning, which we got to get those live numbers up as well. But whether you're viewing it live with me when I do this, or you're watching the YouTube video later in the day, thanks for watching. Keep doing that, and give me feedback. Let me know what, if anything, we can do to improve things. All right, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to this weekend, and we'll be back Monday with a recorded podcast right at the market close. And we'll talk about new trades that we're sending out on Monday. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.